Please give it up for your MC, Raine Hofer. It's the very last night being here.
Thank you, Sophie.
That was shit, sorry.
Oh, it's fine, Sophie. It's fine. Just give me 1 second. Microphones are the #1 enemy to all comedians. Alright, good evening everyone. This is Use the Word Cunt Part 3, Return to the Cunt. I hope you're all ready for the greatest night of comedy of your lives. Everyone ready? Yeah! Alright, so the reason I started this room is mostly because of my love of the English language, specifically the word cunt, because it's a terrible word where I'm from in Canada. You can literally get kicked out of a comedy room by certain people for using it. You know? And then I get over here, my first day, I wake up to the sound of my roommate going, "Good morning, cunts!" And I knew I was right at home. Alright, all you loud cunts in the back, we're trying to do some comedy, so if you're gonna be loud, please laugh. No, nothing? Fun. Anyway, can I just have a personal moment? Awesome. I was gonna bring snacks for everyone, but no. So I'm leaving Melbourne on Monday, and my brother told me when I came to Australia I need to send him like junk food that we don't get back in Canada, and bought this for him today. It's going great. Very well, I'll pass them around afterwards. Alright, my second show, I fucked up and announced the wrong comedian like right off the bat. So now I have an actual list. Are you guys impressed with my professionalism? Woo! Improvement.
Please welcome to the stage, Raine Hofer.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Woo!
So are there any Canadians in the crowd tonight? I heard there's some Canadians. Yeah! That's right. Now I have some issues here in Australia that a lot of people don't believe I'm Canadian because I'm such an asshole. Like, nah, you're one of them Americans pretending to be Canadian, the way you talk and curse. Now, I've decided after all this time, I've been here about 3 months, I've decided to start proving them wrong by not shooting them. But I do have kind of a dry sense of humor. Like, a lot of times, people ask me if I have change for a $5 bill, and I go, you know, change comes from within. Okay? I find, however, it's a lot less funny when you say it to homeless people. The first Australian word I learned when I came to Australia, any guesses? Bogan. You know how I learned that word first? Because I got called one. Anyone surprised? Anyone? No, I was carrying a big case, a big flat of Victoria Bitter over my shoulder down the street, and someone rolled down their window and yelled, "I am Bogan, get off the street!" I thought, oh, thank you, I must be dressed extra nice today, you know? I was just grabbing a beer.
No, he's not.
It's okay, take your time. That's alright, I did that all throughout the last show. I have a ginger joke too, you guys want to hear it? How many of you guys have ever had rabies shots in your life? Oh sweet, a few of you, isn't it awesome? I had to get rabies shots last year because I got bit in the face by a stray cat. Thank you, that was the compassion. So it was a cold Canadian winter day, -30, and I hear a cat meowing outside, and I of course let it in. And I'd given it food, and I'm checking its collar, I'm looking for some kind of identification, I'm looking at its ear, bites me right in the face, takes a chunk right out of, like, I had a cut on my nose for 3 weeks. And the first thing that the city services tell me to do is let it go. I had it locked in the bathroom after I swore at it and called it a ginger cunt a few times. See, my first mistake was trusting a ginger. Alright? That's right, JC. But, so a lot of people ask me how it is that I got into comedy. And I can't talk about this at home because it's a little too close to home, so to speak. I was actually trying to bang this comedian. and made friends with him on Facebook. I looked up when all of his shows were, and I started going to them. And then I realized how creepy I was being. So I thought the best way out of this predicament was to start doing comedy. Now, long story short, did not end up banging the comedian despite my best efforts. But I did end up becoming a comedian. So I think... Awesome. So a funny story, and a few of you witnessed this firsthand. We were sitting outside the bar there, handing out flyers to passersby, kind of like the opposite of homelessness. Where you're not asking for shit, you're giving it to them and begging them to take it. That's what it feels like. And then this lovely young blonde woman stopped and she said, "Did you go to Confest?" I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." Yeah, I did go to Confest. "Were you the one walking around with the sign that said free shrugs and shrugging at everyone?" "Yeah, that was me, actually, yeah." So I don't get remembered for my comedy. I get remembered for when I go to a festival, take LSD, and walk around topless, aggressively shrugging at people. I'll take it though, and the worst part is, she still didn't come to the show. You were starting to fill in back there. Yeah, also that's what she said. Yeah, that hurt me a little too. That was a little lowbrow even for me, actually. I felt that one right in my soul. Fancy microphone stand. Alright, so, one thing I would like to talk about, because I've noticed my crowd here. Are there any foreigners here tonight? Can I hear a shout out from the foreigners? I got one. And I know him too. But we're not from the same foreign place. I feel like he's way more foreign than I am. That's what makes me feel better. But I've been getting a lot of hate on for being foreign lately. What you guys don't realize is we run your country. We do all your farm work. All of your fruits and vegetables that say from Australia should actually say hand-picked by foreigners in Australia. We run that industry, all right? And where I live, we do, people I live with, re-stump your houses, take care of your children, take care of your disabled people, Sell your weed. Anyway, moving right along. My point is you need us. One other thing I want to talk about, I know you guys have Easter coming up, right? That's the same time in Australia as everywhere else, yeah? I haven't really looked it up. I've been drinking a lot since I got here. Yeah. So I've had what you'd consider a lot of dangerous jobs in my life. I've worked security in various places. I've worked as a bouncer. I went and volunteered in Haiti. But I've never actually been physically targeted and assaulted until a job I did last year at Easter, working as an Easter bunny. I was wearing one of them big mascot suits. It was the middle of the day on a Friday, and I got jumped by 3 drunk guys downtown. One of them took my pretty little basket, and the other one started punching me in the head. Now, I'll be damned if I'm gonna take that shit lying down, even if I am a happy Easter bunny. So I started fucking punching him back, and the words that were coming out of my mouth would have scared children into not wanting chocolate ever again in their lives. But the biggest problem I have here is that I really couldn't judge these people, because my urge to strike a mascot is always highest around the holidays, especially the big stupid rabbit looking ones, all right? But, and they were drunk. They probably just thought I was one of their crazed spirit animals coming back to get them for revenge on whatever they did to the last mascot they saw. But I ran back into the chocolate store to seek refuge, and all of my coworkers were lying on the floor laughing so hard at the sight of a 7-foot-tall Easter bunny getting its ass kicked on the sidewalk. And they made me go back to work that day. No love lost. But there's one thing I want to leave you on. I haven't done a lot of Australian things since I got here. I haven't seen a koala or a snake. I haven't gotten in a fight. But I did, for the first time in my life, manage to drink until I blacked out. And every time I've told that on stage to an Australian audience, they have cheered. Yeah. So I think you guys need to ask yourselves what kind of example you're setting for the international community. And if this is really something you need to be proud of, But anyway, thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you come and see my shows at the festival. Thank you for coming in. I'm a pro, I fucking caught that. Awesome. So this is my first time backpacking. What? Thank you. I know I'm not funny, I just laugh at everything I do. So this is my first time backpacking, and when you backpack, you take random jobs doing random things. And I spent a couple days fundraising, which is the most glorified job ever. And a lot of people were donating money to us without even asking what the charity was. So me and one of my friends started brainstorming things we could tell them. The first one we came up with was Symmetry for Tasmania. So the money goes towards purchasing foreigners in order to help the next generation of Tasmanians have a more symmetrical body. You know, their faces line up a little better. We think that would be a good use for the money. Another thing we had was superannuation for porn stars. We want to make sure that they can retire well. You know, that's an issue we've been having. But the most important thing I think we need to worry about in Australia is sexual education to the koala bears. Because the chlamydia outbreak amongst your koalas is the highest ever. And I think that's another thing you could be employing foreigners to take care of. I would be more than happy to help administer antibiotics to your koalas in order to clear up that little problem. Any takers? No? Alright, we're gonna keep this show going right along. One thing I love about this being my last comedy show here is half of you comedians I don't even know. We went over this. We had, I went over the 2 rules of the stage before we started. It's a clip microphone stand. But it is difficult, I understand. Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna tell you off anyway. Alright, so I've been living in a hostel for the last 6 months. It's one more reason my parents are proud of me. But I live there for free now in exchange for a mild amount of labor, so it's even better. But I learned most of my sagely Australian wisdom from our landlord, Paul. I had an issue with one of my roommates and things got a little physical, and I talked to him about it. And he looked at me and said, "You know what the problem with you young people is today?" And I, of course, fastened my seatbelt and got really ready for this because I knew this was going to be good. All right, he's like, "Problem with you young people today is you're not racist enough." Oh yeah, this should be good. Yeah, that's gonna work great for me. Look, I don't know. I guess I'll put down my beer. That's against everything I stand for, but. All right. You know, funny you should talk about possums. I was picking up weed from yet another German. Like I said, we run this country, foreigners. A couple days ago, I was walking by all these picket fences, and it was nighttime, and I looked at one of them, like, holy fuck, that's the biggest rat I've ever fucking seen in my life. Had the long fucking rat tail, and then I'm like, you're in Australia, that's gonna be another fucking marsupial. Possum, absolutely. And he even posed and let me take pictures of it. And then I remembered when I went to try and pet it that I don't have medical insurance right now. And that's how I get myself into trouble, by trying to touch things I shouldn't. Moment, everyone? Is that alright with all of you? Yeah! This is a poem that I wrote to my cunt. Oh my dear cunt, how much I wish that you were a penis, because my life would be so much easier and I would get paid more. The end. Thank you. It was good honor for that. But, that's alright. So, one issue I have with my sense of humor is it's very dry. And I've noticed that a lot of times people have a hard time with it. Like, for example, anytime anyone asks me for change for a $5 bill, I say, you know, change comes from within. I've noticed it's slightly less funny when I say it to homeless people. But also, my father has kind of a dry sense of humor. It was his birthday last month, and I asked him if he wanted me to send him anything, and he said, yeah, how about a new daughter? Yeah. And last year we were sitting down having a few drinks, and I have two older brothers, and I said to him, I was like, so Dad, after you had two sons, were you hoping your third kid would be a girl? And he said, oh, I didn't care. And then he took another drink and he looked at me through his squinty little drunk eyes. And he said, but you know, it would have been nice if you had turned out human. Oh, thank you, Valeria. My Italian friend, Valeria. She's so sad that I'm so upset about my papa. You really think I wasn't going to imitate your accent on stage at some point? That was great. So then, a few years ago, I came out as bisexual to my parents. They haven't heard the threesome story, but if they come to enough of my comedy shows, they will. The first thing my dad said was, well, that's a huge surprise. But is so what you're telling us that you've doubled the pool of people that are gonna reject you? Where is it, Valeria? Oh, so sad. All right, so I'm just gonna take another personal moment if I might. These are the pizza flavored snackos. Fucking right.
It doesn't make it better.
Yeah, fuck you. Who the fuck was hating on the snackos as an Australian pesto? Have you tried the pizza flavored ones? Have you? Be honest.
They're the chicken.
Pass them around, Karen.
I will, but they're the chicken.
Oh shit, they are the chicken.
It's all good. They're all from Audi. Nothing bad ever came from Audi.
So, hey, did you see how I managed to get the microphone off there first time? That was Kieran. Right? Another round for Kieran for teaching me how to use the mic stand. Beauty. My dad's a bit of a cunt. I'm going to put the snackos down. So I talked to my dad the other day, and he was like, oh, you're still alive, are you? Like, yeah, he's like, why am I still paying your life insurance in Australia if you're still alive? We had a deal worked out. Everyone in Canada thinks Australia is really dangerous. I almost got mauled by a bear last year in Canada. Do you guys have bears?
Koala bears.
No. Yeah, you have koala bears. We already talked about the chlamydia problem. It's okay. All right, but you know, I was talking to my dad a few months ago, back when I was in Canada, and we were having a few drinks. And I said, so Dad, after you had two sons, were you hoping your third kid would be a girl? And he said, oh, I didn't care. And he looked at me through his squinty little drunk eyes and he said, but you know, it would have been nice if you had turned out human. Yeah. And I came out, when I was about 25, I came out as bisexual to my parents. And my father again said, I don't really care. But is what you're trying to tell me that you've doubled the pool of people that are going to reject you? So I get a lot of emotional support there. But one other huge cultural issue I have in this country is the Vegemite. See, we already got some mixed opinions there. I live with mostly Europeans, and I got this free jar of Vegemite, and I was spreading it on some toast last night because it was all I had left. And she's like, are you really going to eat that? I'm like, yes. She's like, you really like that stuff? I'm like, no, but see, the thing is, I want to like it. So I assume that if I just keep eating it, eventually I will like it. You know, it's a lot like having sex with a man. Thank you, I appreciate the groan there. If you'll notice it was from some of the men, they know what I'm talking about. Okay, now, a few months ago, I was doing my usual on YouTube, and I saw this new video that PETA made. You guys know who PETA is? All the animal rights activists with the sticks up their asses. Oh, yeah. So they were on the street, I'm guessing somewhere in the US, because that's where they like doing this bullshit. And they were handing out samples of milk. And people were just going up to them and taking these free samples of milk and drinking it, no questions asked. That was the first red light. Okay? And they're saying, oh, this is so good, it's so creamy and delicious, it's the best thing ever. Yeah, it turned out to be dog's milk. Now, you know, all these people... I might as well just have her here, it's great. Yeah. Thank you. But so all these people were just disgusted, and they're going up, how dare you not tell us what you're giving us? First of all, I don't know what their problem is, it's free milk, you know? But I mean, the main point Pete is trying to make is that you shouldn't be using products from some animals and not others. And I totally agree with them. I think we should be drinking dog's milk. Because at what point as a society did we decide that cows' udders are so much goddamn cleaner than dogs' udders? You know how often dogs lick their udders? All the fucking time. Alright? Now, I'm not saying that I already have said I'm an asshole. I am saying I'm an asshole. But if the apocalypse hit and we ran out of cows, not only would I be drinking the dog's milk, I'd be eating its flesh, gnawing on its bone, wearing its skin and dancing around, doing sacrifices to the dog gods that they send us more dogs to eat.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people, the only ones out there milking dogs are PETA. Alright, but there are far worse things than eating and milking dogs in my opinion. I had a friend with some pet dogs. She brought them over to my place last year. And I asked her if I could feed her dog a piece of meat. And she said, absolutely not, my dogs are vegan. I don't even need to tell the rest of this joke because you guys know where this is going. But now, it's bad enough if you raise your kids vegan because they don't know what they're missing out on, you know, but they're at least cognitive of the world around them, and they can tell you're being a hateful jackass parent. But when you do it to a poor dog, that poor dog loves you and idolizes you, and it doesn't know what a jackass you're being to it. But long story short, I was living with roommates that had cats. One of the dogs kept escaping to the other room and eating poop out of the cat litter box. So I turned to my friend and asked her, you know that cat eats meat, right? Is your dog still a vegan? Then that's a question you're all really gonna have to answer for yourselves. Alright, so, one of the most memorable moments I've had in Melbourne was I went to the Quentin Tarantino ball. You guys familiar with Quentin Tarantino? Yeah. That's right. So, I went there to hang out with my Irish friend. He was supposed to come out tonight. Are you here, Irish dude? No? Round of applause? No? Not here? Alright, good. This will make it easier for him. So, I showed up there dressed like the Bear Jew from Inglourious Bastards, and he was dressed like Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill. He had the blonde hair and everything, wearing the little yellow jumpsuit. Now, as the night progressed, his Australian girlfriend, his other Australian friend, both went home. And he was getting drunker and drunker. And he started picking up drinks that other people were drinking and downing them while they weren't looking. And I was thinking, oh good, I'm gonna have to get this guy home. Now, I thought back to what my landlord told me the other week about not being racist enough. As I was dragging the Irish Beatrix Kiddo down the streets of Richmond at 4 in the morning, carrying a cricket bat for my costume. And I thought, of course this is happening. He's Irish. Of course he got so drunk someone had to carry him home. Of course the Australian said this isn't my problem and left. And of course the Canadian cleaned up the mess. So I walked him to his door. He fought me every step of the way. Again, Irish. You know? And I get to the door. His girlfriend opens the door. I say, I believe this is yours. And I fucked off. Because this was no longer my problem and I did my job. And not only did he not remember any of this, he told me the next day that he lost his wig and he was sad about that. So, my favorite thing to do here in Melbourne is protesting. Have you guys ever been to a good protest? Thank you, everyone. No, you guys, we don't care about politics. That's very Australian of you. Things are gonna happen anyway. But my favorite protest I went to was the Trump inauguration protest. You guys catch that one? Global news, that's right. All right? So I went down there, I was drunk as fuck. I was carrying a sign that said, "Trump can suck my balls." And I was marching with people from all over the world. Now, of course, everyone thought I was American because of my accent, so I ended up joining up with some of the Americans. And we started getting handouts for parties afterward, and I was like, yeah, let's go to one of these parties. We show up there, drunk as fuck, painted in whatever. Turns out it was a communist rally. Yeah, I ran into one of those Americans recently. She's a socialist now. So my drinking is now affecting the world in a negative way. I realized that, and I really got to start working on it. All right. All right. So a buddy of mine, he was here earlier actually, took me to a hippie commune last week. Fucking great shit. Now the thing they warned me about at dinner is that you have to actually lick your plate clean when you're done, because it saves on dishwater. And my friend was a little nervous about this, and I was like, what's your problem? So what you're telling me is the shit I do when I'm alone anyway, I can now do in front of other people and it's accepted? Can I also sit there and scratch my ass and drink custard? Would that be alright with everyone? Now, I didn't bring any custard, sorry, I can drink the fucking Snackos if that'll make you happy. We'll save that for an after show. Oh, he's eating my Snackos, that's right. Where's the hater, the giant guy? Where did he go? That's how professional I am. I'm calling one of my comedians the giant guy, right? So, I was at the hippie commune licking my plate, a sentence I never thought I'd utter. And my buddy was like, I really want to eat some of this food, but I'm not comfortable licking my plate clean. I ended up licking 3 plates clean. That's right. And the worst part was, I was like, we're at a hippie commune. Do you know where they got the food? From dumpster diving. So you're okay with eating food that they rescued from the dumpsters outside of supermarkets, but you're not okay with licking your plate clean. I'm glad you have your priorities straight. But you know, I'm gonna end on this note. I haven't done a huge amount of Australian things since I got to Australia. You know, I've barely been to the beach. I haven't seen a kangaroo or a koala or a snake. I haven't gotten into a fight. But I did, for the first time in my life, manage to drink until I blacked out. That is the second time I have told that joke to an Australian crowd, and the second time I have got the biggest reaction than anything I said. So I think you all need to take a good hard look at yourselves in the mirror and what kind of example you're trying to set the world. Alright?